John was ready along with his partner to meet Tom, the CEO of a large technology company. And this is, by the way, a true story. He wore a beautiful three-piece suit, blue tie, black shoes. He looked one notch above business professional. It made sense. This was potentially a huge contract and a huge client. When they arrived, they were shocked. The company CEO was wearing boat shorts and flip-flops. His chief operation officer and chief marketing officer were dressed similarly. John felt he was overdressed in comparison to his customers. They delivered their presentation to an attentive and quiet audience, and John, whom I know personally, received an email the following week stating that they lost their bid to a competitor. John knows that he was the best in the business, and his curiosity demanded to understand why his company was not chosen. So he called directly the CEO that rejected him and asked him for honest feedback. He said, "John, this is John." And the CEO responded, "Yes. Do you remember me?" "So of course I do." "Can you tell me honestly the reason why you reject our offer? I just want to know. That's all I want. I want to learn from you to avoid making the same mistakes next time." So the CEO, his name is Tom, respond as follows. "I thought you'd figure it out." "I honestly did. We felt that you were the wrong fit. Even though we loved your presentation and everything you had to say, we simply couldn't see how you can train and connect with our folks dressed the way you were. I understand you might have dressed down if we asked you to. However, you could have easily find out our company culture and how we operate in terms of dress code. And you could absolutely find all this information online, but you didn't do your due diligence." So the above example reflect the fact that preparation prevents poor performance and lost opportunities. You see, you cannot wear jeans and t-shirts when you're pitching a law firm partner and trying to get their business. Conversely, you cannot wear a fancy suit pitching your product to an association of blue-collar workers. It simply does not work that way. No one will feel comfortable. The lessons here is that one must dress in a way that meets the audience expectation and fit within the customer work norm and culture, right? You could be the best salesperson on the planet. You might possess the best solution and the best attitude, but you will fail flatly if you dress in a manner that your customer deems inappropriate or provocative. So use caution, do some research ahead of time, and dress in a way that does not become a distraction that prevents you from getting your message across. What matters is your message, not your attire. But they do matter tremendously. So let's address attire. If you are required to wear a suit, please opt in for something conservative. I find out that salespeople that tend to wear navy blue suit when it comes to men and dark gray with attractive, neckties tend to be taken more seriously than those that opt for a brighter or distracting color like yellow, white, things in that line. So appearance matters in sales, obviously, especially in professional selling. You cannot project professionalism if you dress like a teenager. Lawyers are taken seriously in court not just because they are licensed to practice law, but because they adopt a demeanor That means business is the way they look, the way they talk, the way they behave, is the whole package. A lawyer that dressed inappropriately will most likely be thrown out of the courtroom by the judge, because judges have little tolerance to no tolerance for unprofessionalism. You should think of it the same way. Would the judge take seriously a lawyer that dressed out of character? I would say probably not. And you wouldn't want to be with a lawyer that represents you that dressed inappropriately in the courtroom as well. So, conservative clothing give a first impression of business professionalism. People look at the total package. They evaluate your dress code, your words, your attitude, your professionalism, your overall demeanor, and pass a judgment before you say even your first word. It's just the reality we live in. Whenever you are not sure, my advice, choose to dress conservatively. The same goes for women in that case. Salespeople can wear a variety of attires depending on their industry. One can look real attractive, yet professional. And that's exactly what you want. So, in terms of accessories, that's a big topic also. We're just gonna touch part of it that is important. While this is not really my expertise, I would like to share with you some recommendation that has worked for me or many of my professional colleagues. When it comes to the bag that you carry, if you are a salesperson that carry a bag daily while prospecting, my advice to you is to invest in a good solid leather bag that look good, right? And it can handle the work stress and age well. A black or brown color might work just well for you. Women have a little bit more option in terms of colors. However, staying on the conservative side will enhance your image and you'll probably be taken more seriously. When it comes to pens, you might want to invest in a good pen as well. I would say like a Mont Blanc writing instrument. They cost usually less than $100 for a very basic one. The customer wants to work with someone who projects success, not someone that is just looking to make a quick dollar. Appearing successful boosts your trust factor and your professionalism. I do want to share with you a story here. Tom, a client I know for many years, was on the verge of hiring a consultant company that has a reputation for paying attention to the smallest detail in handling their client projects. So he listened to several competing presentations, and he narrowed his choices to only 2 companies. Tom was really impressed by both companies. was contemplating signing one of the contract laid down in front of him. So he had 2 competing sales reps in front of him, awaiting his decision and signature. He said, "I guess it's time to sign one of this contract." "Which one will it be?" Tom said. He honestly was confused. He didn't make up their mind. They were both very good at what they're doing. The presentation were perfect. It just matter of like almost flipping the coin here. He had nothing to say, except things changed radically very quickly. Listen, both companies had excellent reputation and both were very similar in multiple ways. Full of anticipation, both sales reps reach out to their pocket and hand Tom a pen for contract signature. The first sales rep hand over a beautiful Meisterstock Le Grand Rollerball pen. The second sales rep hand over a chewed up, cheap Bic pen. That chewed up pen raised Tom alarm. You cannot pride yourself on paying attention to details that matter to customers and neglect to hand over a decent pen to sign the contract. That specific chewed-up pen was the reason why the second company lost the deal. Tom didn't volunteer to tell, and the sales rep never really asked why. Had he followed up with Tom, he would have learned a valuable lesson in paying attention to small details like a pen. You see, your first impression matters. So is your second impression, and so is your third impression. Every time that you meet your customer, you got to look the part and act the part literally. You really cannot afford to let your guard down and convey the wrong impression that cannot be erased from your customer mind. So investing in a good pen to sign a contract is always a good thing. You can have a second or third pen that you can use to write basic stuff. But when it comes to signing the contract, please have a quality pen that you can hand to customer to sign.
If you get value from this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so that I can help you with similar video going forward at least twice a week. Thank you.